team of Harvard researchers believe they have discovered fragments of alien technology. The pieces were from a meteor that landed in the ocean near Papua New Guinea back in 2014.
Hello, world.
Ayo, ayo.
This is Yanni, and this is the Yannis podcast.
And this is Elise, your guest for today.
Ooh, and I love this beat. Hit it.
Boom, 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 boom. Nice epic music.
I love it. I love it. Oh, so welcome back for episode 2. We have 1 subscriber.
But aliens.
We're going to talk about aliens again.
Most exciting.
Let's make it 2.
Yeah.
Remember to follow Yanni's podcast on Twitter, now X, YouTube, Instagram, and Rumble, and other platforms coming soon. It's great to have you guys here.
Great to be here.
It's good to have Elise here helping me out. So let's kick it off. Episode 1 was about the history making disclosure in Congress. In a rare bipartisan effort, Republicans and Democrats initiated the UAP hearing at the U.S. House of Representatives on July 26. 3 eyewitnesses spoke under oath, whistleblowers, and they revealed that we may have recovered, meaning the U.S. may have recovered,
aliens.
biologics from crash sites.
Yeah.
Mind blown. Okay. So I want to follow up that story with another story, perhaps equally as
an interesting topic, I'm
interesting
sure.
topic, maybe news making. Scientist claims he'll be able to tell world aliens exist in just 28 days.
28 days.
So when I saw this, I'm like, is this for real? Look, it's the Daily Star. It's a tabloid from the UK. But I looked into this, and there is some validity to this story. Actually, a lot of validity to this story.
Really?
As it centers around Avi Loeb, a
who
well-known Harvard professor.
Okay.
That just completed an expedition. So here it is, Harvard University.
What's he a professor of?
He is a professor of astrophysics, I believe.
I see. Plasma physics. Cool.
So, very smart man, obviously. Received a PhD in plasma physics at age 24 from the Hebrew University in Jerusalem in 1986. Long-term member of the Institute of Advanced Study in Princeton, where he started to work in theoretical astrophysics. In 1993, he moved to Harvard University, where he was tenured 3 years later. Wow. He is now the Frank B. Baird Jr. Professor of Science and former chair of the department. So Professor of Science.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was reading a little further here. It says he's authored over 1,000 research articles and 8 books.
Yeah, very smart man. And he's making news because who said, hey, we're going to recover a meteor that is recognized to be the first certified meteor to enter our solar system and then crash on the planet Earth.
Wow. Where? Where did it crash?
In the Pacific Ocean. So I'm going to play a video on that. Let's see. Let's have Avi talk about it. This is a CBS News video. Very, very interesting interview. And then we'll comment on it. So let's play that video and talk about it next.
Cool.
It's a question scientists have tried to answer for a long time, and we may be a step closer to answering that question. A team of Harvard researchers believe they have discovered fragments of alien technology. The pieces were from a meteor that landed in the ocean near Papua New Guinea back in 2014. But the team has a lot more debris to sort through in their research. Professor Avi Loeb led that team of researchers, and he joins me now for more. Professor, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with what you found. What can you tell us about these spheres that you've recovered from the ocean floor?
Thanks for having me. These are metallic marbles that we identified through a microscope. So that's a new way of doing astronomy. Instead of looking for what's outside the solar system using telescopes, we were using microscopes. And we collected magnetic material from the ocean floor that is 2 kilometers deep. And first, we put it in vials, as you see here. I just received some of the material by FedEx a few hours ago. And then we filtered out the tiny particles that are volcanic ash, and we were left with particles that are 0.5 millimeter in size. We look at them through the microscope, and we saw that they are spherical. These are called spherules, which are the melted droplets from the surface of the object, which moved too fast to be bound to the sun. It came from interstellar space. It's the first time that humans put their hands on material from a large object that entered the solar system from outside.
Let me pause here for a minute because this is big, right? So why is this important? So he just completed an expedition to recover the remains from the first recognized interstellar meteor.
Yep.
The object was bigger than 0.5 meter that collided with Earth. It had unusual material strength and moved faster than 95% of the stars in the vicinity of the sun. So his mission was to recover as much of the meteor as possible and analyze it. Because, well,
Okay.
we'll see what he has to say.
Yeah, so I assume that if he's still collecting it, then it's split apart around the ocean. And the ocean floor, I'm actually quite curious, how far did it go down? And I assume it was not that far because he was able to collect it, but I don't know.
Actually, yeah, we don't know that, but he did a series over 30 journal entries. I didn't read all of them. I skimmed through a lot of it. He did some over 30 entries, sharing with the public this expedition.
Makes sense. I mean, it's even said, remember, that he did 1,000 articles and 8 books, so
Right.
he's certainly
Yeah.
a writer.
Let's resume and see what he has to say.
So I got two sets of questions. Let's stick first with the little marble objects. How do we know those mean anything more than just some combination of things that melted while it was zooming through space? Why is it possibly technology?
Based on the US government data, we infer that the material strength of this meteorite was higher than all space rocks cataloged by NASA over the past decade, even iron meteorites. And the question is, what was it made of? And perhaps it formed in some natural environment that is different from a planetary system like the solar system, but perhaps also it is technological in origin. A spacecraft like Voyager, imagine Voyager 1 billion years from now going to interstellar space and colliding with a planet and burning up in the atmosphere of the planet as a meteor. That's a possibility. This object was moving faster than 95% of all stars in the vicinity of the sun. And so we decided to go out and check any leftovers from that meteor explosion, and we found it. So now we're planning to analyze it at Harvard University and figure out what it was made of.
And now the other question, which is,
New material.
New material, right?
Wow, okay.
He wants to find out if the material they recover is of technological or in origin,
Oh, I see.
which means
this is where this is
it's
leading to.
artificially created, which could infer then that aliens had something to do with it, or beings from outside of the planet Earth. right?
Another life form in
Another
our
life form.
infinite
Yeah.
universe.
So, interesting. I want to add that the samples are being analyzed in 3 or 4 different labs around the world. So he's having different labs examining them. He didn't mention that here.
Oh, okay.
Let's resume.
we don't exactly get things arriving from other solar systems that often, right? Help us understand how big a deal it is, and is that why it's called Interstellar Meteor 1? Because there isn't one before it.
Right. This is the first one identified. by US government sensors, mostly satellites, and we didn't discover any such object before. It was more than half a meter in size and released a few percent of the energy output of the Hiroshima atomic bomb when it exploded 20 kilometers above the Pacific Ocean. And we were able to localize the path of the meteor. We found these spherules, droplets that were melted off its surface where we expected they were concentrated in that region. And the hope is that we can infer whether it was artificial in origin, because just imagine semiconductors being melted. The droplets will include a much higher abundance of rare elements that are not found in such concentrations in nature.
Professor Avi Loeb, fascinating. Good luck with your research from Harvard University. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Professor.
Thank you. This is really pretty
Monumental,
amazing, right?
Yeah.
I would say I'm intrigued, and this is how science works, right? Avi mentioned about the congressional hearing and the 3 whistleblowers speaking out, saying that we have access to alien technology and we recover biologics and other things. It was very interesting. I heard Avi in an interview say that, well, show me the evidence. Let me speak to somebody who's seen it.
Yeah.
Let me see some of the evidence. So until we see it, it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
We're a very smart species, and we want some evidence. We want some proof that it truly exists. Or is it just a distraction or something else?
It makes sense, though. I mean, it's going to be buried, so it's not going to be easy to come to light. I mean, I wasn't in the first episode here, but I'm sure that it's not going to be easy to present all of it.
Well, what some of the evidence was going to be revealed in a skiff in a secure room to certain government officials, I guess, and perhaps more information will come out of all that. But let's focus back on Avi, right?
Yep.
His expedition was completed, and this is a little old now. This article was just posted, but his expedition was done last month. So let's give it 30 days, and perhaps we'll have some news as to whether these recovered marble-sized molten droplets from the seabed of Manus Island, 260 miles from Papua New Guinea. Let's pull up Google Maps. Google Earth. There it is. Let's see where that is.
Yeah.
Off the Pacific Ocean.
I still find it amusing that they said 28 days. Just reminds me of zombies more than aliens.
Oh, that's another topic.
Yeah, for another day.
Papua New Guinea. Let's zoom in. I love Google Earth. There we go.
It's a pretty good resource.
Yeah. So someplace, they said, north of, this is where the meteor crash landed. And the very first meteor recognized to be an interstellar body, something that came from outside our solar system, moving extremely fast and displaying the material characteristics.
It's very conductive, right, or something?
It was very strong material. So it was collected over there.
Well, it's certainly going to make a lot of money.
Well,
the
there's
business side of things.
Sure. I mean, if let's say we discover some new material that we can that we can replicate here, sure, there'll be some potential.
I don't know if we'll be able to replicate it, but that would be interesting. I didn't think of
Yeah,
that.
we don't know anything right now. All we know is he picked up pieces of a rock and they're examining it. Anyway, but yeah, he gave a lot of really good interviews out there. He's definitely a legit
Man of science.
man of science. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, and this is very interesting. This is part of his many report. So he did over 30 reports on this interstellar recovery project. They're calling it IM1 Interstellar Meteor.
Oh, yeah. That's what the video was saying, right? That
Yeah.
it was because it was the first one. They called it number one.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of really good information here. I do want to share a little excerpt here that he says, I estimate that there are about 1 million objects like IM1 right now within the orbit of the Earth around the sun, but they do not reflect enough sunlight to be detectable with our best telescopes on Earth. He did make a statement to say that NASA tends to look at very far away bodies very far away from the Earth. So you got to sometimes take a look at what's closer to you. And
Makes sense.
that's what he's saying here. He
Yeah.
says only a small fraction of them are detected as meteors, often after colliding with Earth and burning up in a fireball of atomic bomb proportions as a result
Wow.
of their friction with the air. Well, okay, it will depend on speed, mass, acceleration. So in 30 days, we're going to find out whether we have recovered material that perhaps another species outside of our solar system has
Yeah.
created artificially, perhaps. Who knows? All right, so good. So now we wait. Now we wait, and we're gonna hear
Exactly 28 days?
exactly 28. I don't know. I got my clock going,
Oh, yeah.
but this is good. For more information about Avi, make sure to visit his professional page of the Harvard University site. And for us, you can always find us on YouTube, Rumble,
Spotify,
Spotify. That's right.
Twitter.
Twitter, now X, and other
Yeah.
platforms coming soon. We're going to be doing a lot more episodes like this and talk about whatever.
Yeah.
As I said on the first episode, we're going to talk about a lot of things and a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, very chill. Enjoy ourselves.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening and watching.
Yeah, have a good day,
And-
people.
All right, world. Catch you all later.
See ya.